All right, as promised, let's take you live now to the Union Buildings with SABC News political editor Mzwandile Mbeje, who is right outside the buildings in anticipation of the president's address. Mzwandile, a very good afternoon to you. So it's just under 2 hours before that all-important address, and SABC News has, of course, been on the streets asking your normal citizens what they would like to see happen. And, of course, political parties alike have also weighed their voices in. So let's get your overview as, of course, you wait there at the Union Buildings about what possible actions might be communicated by Ramaphosa.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Alicia, and the viewers, and you are quite correct. South Africans have been waiting since that Sunday where General Mkhwanazi stood at the press conference detailing the allegations around the police activities, obviously including key police personnel, even in the form of the Minister of Police. Immediately after that press conference, South Africans wanted to know what the president was going to do, given the nature and the seriousness of the allegations, particularly because many people, Alicia said, this goes to the core of the national security of the country. So as the head of state, so he needed to do something. You would recall that at the time, the president was in Brazil to attend the BRICS summit. And then, of course, he did promise immediately after getting the news that upon return to South Africa, he was going to go get into this issue and then brief the nation accordingly. So last week, we did get the communication from the presidency to say on Sunday, which is today, the president will then update the nation as to what is it that he would have decided upon. My assumption, Alicia, is that he would have interacted with a number of stakeholders, particularly the key players in this area. And then after looking at all the sides, of course, as the president, then he is sufficiently prepared in terms of the information at his disposal to then communicate what his decision will be. So South Africans in the next 2 hours will definitely know what is it that the president is going to do about those allegations that General Mkhwanazi spoke about on Sunday. So it's something that was absolutely unprecedented, and then of course I guess some sort of action from the president will be an action that will perhaps restore the public confidence, particularly in our police, by the action that he will take, or by the announcement, or by the indication as to what is it that he's going to do.
Mzwandile, just on that point of course, the president having been already briefed by the relevant authorities or the people that are concerned in this matter, are you able to confirm to us that Mkhwanazi did, in fact, meet up with President Ramaphosa upon the president's return from Brazil?
I think what I will be able to say is that the president did engage with all the stakeholders that are part of what is happening now. It's possible the presidency hasn't confirmed yet, but we do know that all sectors that are important, rather all key figures and institutions that are important in this regard would have been met, because for the president to be able to arrive at a decision that will perhaps somehow enlighten the nation as to what exactly is going. So the president would want to speak to those, perhaps those who have been implicated, perhaps those who have made allegations, and then look at a platform that can be able to verify or clarify exactly what is happening. Because it does appear, Alicia, that there's more than meets the eye in this regard. Perhaps the president may then go the route of looking at something like the Judicial Commission of Inquiry, so that you go to the core of these allegations. This is quite important. When there is an opinion, rather, when there is a perception that our state is perhaps in danger, or those who are tasked with looking after us perhaps are fighting. So South Africans will be somehow not happy with that. So clearly the president will be very much aware of that on his mind. So he would want to communicate an announcement that would be able really to restore public confidence, that will be able to perhaps indicate that when all is said and done, so there still needs to be fairness in this whole process, because you and I, so we don't know what happened. So all these allegations will have to be tested in a properly constituted platform. So I think that is what will weigh on the president's mind. So it's possible he may have met all the stakeholders so that he is better informed.
And Mzwandile, time is of absolute essence, particularly for citizens in this matter, and they're demanding a swift resolution. None of these long drawn-out probes that are going to take years even to come to a finalization. So they are calling, if any swift action, in at least, of course, 6 weeks. We've heard there could possibly, these are just rumors, still unconfirmed at this stage, that there could also be that announcement of a cabinet reshuffle. And of course, there's just too much to speculate. So what can you tell us at this stage as, of course, we count down to 7 p.m.?
Well, at this stage, Alicia, the person who's got all the answers to all those questions that you are asking is the President of the Republic. But of course, as people who operate in the space of the news media, so we do have to then engage into the realm of speculation, but of course not just speculation out of nowhere, informed, but what we have observed, what we have seen, how we have engaged with various stakeholders. So clearly, the president will take everything into consideration when he then makes that announcement. So we do suspect that if there has to be a cabinet reshuffle of sorts, perhaps that could be occasioned by, let's perhaps speculate that maybe the Minister of Police may have, as you may have seen the reports, may have asked to be given space to be able to deal with this. So clearly that is a very key portfolio, and the President may then decide perhaps to use the opportunity either make some mini cabinet reshuffle or just plug that gap. But as you know, the President is a leader of a party as well, so he may also want to get the feeling or the sense from his party. Yes, this is the GNU, but he may want to get a sense. I know that next week is the National Executive Committee of the ANC. Perhaps if, let's say, the President is contemplating the cabinet reshuffle, he may seek the wisdom of his own party. Not only his own party, he may also reach out to other partners. This is the government of national unity. He may then perhaps use this time to then consult to say, this is the kind of step I want to make. That does not mean, Alicia, that he can't take his own decision, because in terms of the Constitution, as the President of the Republic, he has the prerogative to do those changes if he so wishes. But it's reasonable that if he were to engage in some sort of activity of that nature, he would want to get those that he serves with along.
Right, Mzwandile, we're going to leave it there for now. That is Mzwandile Mbeje, SABC News political editor, joining us right in front of the steps of the Union buildings there as we count down to 7 p.m. for the President's address.